is Charlie Elphicke. Hello, Charlie. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Yourself?
Yes, I'm good. How do you think it's going to go with for the Conservatives in the European elections?
Well, I think it's really clear that the British people are saying in increasing numbers that they want to leave the European Union. And I think
which polls is that in?
The key message of the European elections will almost certainly be that people want to leave the European Union and move on.
Well, how come then that the Conservatives have lost 1,300 councillors? If people want to leave, why are the Liberal Democrats suddenly doing so well when their policy is stop Brexit?
Well, in my constituency in Dover, our vote share rose, the Labour vote share fell, the Liberal Democrats didn't gain a single seat. We made gains, we increased our majority, and that's because I basically said we need to leave Europe and move on. And what we need to do is leave Europe and move on, because as I keep saying to you every time you video me, it's the same message, which is that get out of Europe. We've got to deal with things like schools and hospitals and law and order, and indeed border security, because I don't know if you know, but 40 migrants have turned up in the last 2 days. We need to make sure that
migrants were turning
migrant crisis
Migrants were turning up long before the European Union even. So you cannot just blame that on the European Union.
No, I'm saying we need to invest in our border security, we need to ensure that there's border security, and indeed we need bilateral cooperation with the French authorities.
Border security is the government's responsibility, and as you've just said, they are failing.
And that's why I'm very keen that we make sure that we work together with the French effectively and well, that we ensure that the Calais Coordination Centre is doing its job, that we have 24/7 aerial surveillance across the English Channel, and that we make the whole English Channel a joint security zone so that any migrant can be helped carefully and safely back to the French coast.
Yes, you know the Tory mantra was take back control of our borders, our money and our sovereignty. We're not in Schengen. We always had control of our borders. We're not in the Euro. We always had control of our money. And as for security and other things, that was all government failures. Successive governments, I may add.
Well, what I say on that is we need to just... The reasons for leaving Europe are not simply about border security issues and about the issues around free movement. They're much wider than that, and I think the most important thing from my point of view is that we respect the referendum that happened in 2016 and that we move on. And I worry that the European elections are turning into another referendum, and I don't think that is going to work out very well from the Remain side, from the polls that I'm seeing.
Well, it's unfortunate.
It doesn't look like it's the Remain parties that are going to be the big winners in that election. And I think the more campaigning done by the Remain parties to tell people that they were wrong, the more people say we're going to tell them again.
They're not actually telling people they were wrong. They're telling people you have a right to change your mind in a democracy. And all the polls are showing so many people have changed their minds and they do want to remain. And when you look at the polls now, it's like 58 to 42 for Remain. What do you think about that?
Well, I think the real poll that counts are the votes actually cast in elections. We had the 2016 referendum, and that was close but clear. We had the general election where over 80% of the votes were cast for parties that said they were committed to leaving the European Union. And I suspect in the upcoming European elections, we may find, again, there's a very strong and very clear message to leave the European Union.
That 80% is a bit of fake news, unfortunately. Although 80% of people may have voted for those parties, it was not based on leaving the European Union, as you well know.
Well, that's your view.
Well, that's your view too, but you're not telling us that bit.
I'm saying it's in the manifestos of both the main parties that they would leave the European Union, leave the customs union, all the rest of it, and get out. And that hasn't happened. So now people are understandably quite frustrated, quite cross, and they want to see it happen. And I suspect that the European elections, if the polls are to be believed, people may well, yet again, send a clear message that they want to leave Europe in elections that take place that they don't think should be taking place at all.
You keep on saying all these people want to leave the European Union. If they're asked again, and the vote is clearly to remain, how would you feel?
Well, what's the question? Is the question going to be Remain versus Leave?
No.
Or is it going to be the rigged referendum question of the people's vote, or the confirmatory vote, which is the Prime Minister's deal versus Remain? We all see a rigged referendum, and I think 17.4 million people that voted to get out will say, leave Remainers, they don't get it, they're trying to rig our referendum, rig our democracy, and that would have a catastrophic result for our democratic system.
The problem with those that voted to get out, there is no plan. There was no plan.
I voted to remain.
You keep telling me you vote to remain, but
I respect the democracy. I respect the people.
What would you vote tomorrow?
I'd say, well, let's get on with it. Let's leave. Particularly as I've seen this
But that's
documentary.
not a question.
I've seen this documentary where
I've
the
seen it.
Europeans
Yeah.
all laugh at us.
Yeah.
And they see us.
The whole
they make
world
us
is laughing at us.
A colony.
Yeah.
And that they want to take advantage of us. I think this is not an organisation that I want to be part of anymore.
yeah.
The more I see what they really think,
Look.
and all the mask slips and they let the cat out of the bag, you see what these people are really like. And I think we need to take back control, leave without a deal as quickly as we can, and move on.
Well-
or they give them a deal without the backstop.
We have always had control, and the thing about that documentary, it was fly on the wall. There was a bit of fun.
You split it away.
No, I'm not splitting it away. There's a bit of fun, a bit of
I
humour.
think they think we saw what they really thought.
Well, can we do that in your offices? Bit
Yeah.
of fly on the wall?
Yeah, where you'll find me and my team diligently working hard for my constituents in Dover to improve people's livelihoods, to get better healthcare, to get better education
Well-
standards. That's all I do. I'm just boring.
Well,
I'm just
Nigel
boring, sort of
Farage-
working hard for people, trying to make things better.
Nigel
Not
Farage
trying to sort of mock
wants to
the other side like
privatise.
the Europeans were.
Well, why does Nigel Farage want to privatise the NHS?
We have to ask him these questions. I'm a Conservative MP.
Yes, I know.
Nothing to do with the
I know.
Brexit party.
No.
But I do think that Guy Verhofstadt and all the Europeans, the way they behaved, I mean, it's just going to make people just so cross and want to. It makes me so cross.
I think it's
I believe-
galvanising people,
I think it's
actually.
galvanising people to leave Europe as quickly as possible.
No, it's galvanising people to remain.
No, I really don't think it is.
Okay.
I really don't think it is.
We can agree to differ
I think we
there.
have to. I think we'll have to. Anyway, lovely to see you.
Okay,
again.
thank you very much for your time.